Hi guys.
Hey, how are you?
Another
Good, how are
beauty.
you?
Another beauty.
Good, good. Let me know. Is it Diabo?
It's Darbo.
Dabo.
And Ron will appreciate this. It's like Garbo without the R.
There we go.
Oh, I like that.
Dabo. Okay. Now I'm gonna do a.
So it's not Diavolo, the devil.
No.
No, I mean, you know, everyone's got a little bit of a devil inside them. I think that's not such a bad thing, you know. Just you know, get the little horns out from time to time.
So hold on, everybody. Now we want to welcome to the Jimmy Star Show with Ron Russell, the incredibly talented and gorgeous Olivia Dabo. Hello and welcome to the show.
Hello, hello. I can't tell you how excited I am because I think you two are two of the most entertaining, hilarious hosts, you know.
Oh, that's
Thank
sweet.
you so much.
Pleasure of
I totally love you. Everybody's super excited. I got a lot of play when I put your picture out that you were coming on the show. There's people in the chat room talking about how gorgeous you are and everything is terrific. So tell us. So you're in LA, right? You live in LA now?
I do, yes. I'm sort of back and forth, but primarily here. I own a home here, so
Back and forth.
school
Where?
here. And well, I mean, I went to school in various different places, but I ended up going to a performing arts magnet school in Pacoima Junior High, if you can believe that. You
Okay,
know,
so
right,
you go
right
back
out
and
there
you
in
go.
the Northern Valley. So
You
it
go
was
back
sort of
and
the
forth.
equivalent of the school in New York, the Fame School in New York.
Yes.
I'm gonna get this question out if it kills me. You go back and forth from LA to where?
To London.
Oh, well, that's a
Yes.
nice.
I love the accent.
That's a nice back and
The
forth.
accent is so awesome. It's like so beautiful and sexy. I gotta like love.
So
You
now
just gotta
you're
love
a
it.
kid movie star, right?
Kid TV star.
TV star.
Yeah, I think I sort of I just made it over the cap of being a child star, thank God.
I don't think you're a snob at all.
No, she said I just made it from being a child star.
Oh, I thought you said snob.
A lot of energy, like those cookies that you were eating on one of the shows I saw you on, Ron.
I love it. You know,
You were
today
just like, yeah, well, that's fine, but I'm just addicted to these things, and I just don't want them to end. And we're to them.
Oh, those are those Welch's things that he loves.
Oh, I love them. Today I'm under the weather because, you know, Jimmy sneezed and his snots flew all over me in bed. So he gave me the flu. So don't be nice to Jimmy. Don't be nice to him.
Okay.
No, okay. So first of all, you guys, let me do a little bragging so anybody who doesn't know who you are will know a little bit, you guys. So not only has Olivia been on like every TV show that you've ever seen ever in life. She's been in a ton of great movies. She's also in a zillion awesome video games. She's in all the superhero shit, which is what I really like a lot. And she's in all the animated series, you guys. And then she's also been interviewed not only on the Jimmy Star Show with Ron Russell, but she's been on the Tonight Show with Johnny Carson, Late Night with Conan O'Brien.
Wait, hang on.
The Tonight Show with Jay Leno, Good Morning America.
Stop. How could she possibly be on the Johnny Carson
in the 80s
show?
when he was
She
on?
She wasn't born yet.
Yeah, he was.
How could you be on Johnny Carson? What were you, 2 years old?
He held my hand. I was young, yes, but I took my, you know, he was so sweet. He's so old school showbiz, and I love that about him. And I was very nervous, Ron, as I'm sure you can imagine, because he's a bit of a legend.
Sure.
And to calm my nerves, he just held my hand through the entire interview. And we just had a blast. It was like the audience disappeared, and it was just me and Johnny hanging out, talking about, you know, doing characters and talking about, you know, how I'd grown up with his show. And I just was so nervous because he was kind of an idol of mine. And, you know, I had an amazing time. That was incredible.
Not for anything, but you look extremely young.
Well, thank you.
And you cannot be extremely young if you've been on the Johnny Carson show, so you are fooling people.
I'm fooling people?
You look about 22 or 23 years old.
I must tell you, I'll take the compliment because some people are better at taking compliments than others. But I've been
you really look young. I'm not blowing smoke up your ass. I don't.
No, I
shit.
know.
You really. I mean, that's why when Jimmy said Johnny Carson show, I thought, hey, I'm from the days of Johnny Carson, and I'm 100. but not you. You look good. What do you do to stay so fit and beautiful?
Well, I meditate. I do yoga. I try and really work on my internal happiness, and I find that that really helps the outer whole thing. It's sort of, if you can get that right, if you can get, I do things. I mountain climb. I go to the desert. I spend a lot of time in the lithium there. It's
What's that?
everything. Just
She said she spends a lot of time in the lithium. She comes to the desert. She said,
When you come to the desert,
"Let
let
us
us
know, because that's
know.
where we are."
We live in Palm Springs. We are the desert.
you are the desert. I know you
You'll
are.
come over. I'll cook something. We'll all have a lot of fun.
Okay.
So
Well,
I forgot.
You're very beautiful.
you. Thank you, Ron. That's
What's your nationality?
I'm English. I'm second generation Finnish from Arbo. In fact, my last name Darbo means of Arbo, which is why there's an apostrophe there, because it's a small d, an apostrophe, capital ABO. And my heritage is pirate folklore, actually. Yeah, so I'm a pirate, and there's if you go back even further to 785, I have Iraqi in my blood as well.
Very beautiful. I know a lot of children that were actors and they grew up to be a mess, and they couldn't deal with it because as kids they were revered as beautiful and fabulous, and then they got old and everybody said that old douchebag who wants it. It's horrible. How did you transfer from child to adult?
That's a good question. When I started the Wonder Years, well, my first film, I was 14, so I was just on the brink of sort of I was becoming a teenager and a young woman, and so I think it had a lot to do with my parents. My father was in a group called Manfred Mann in the 60s. And
Oh my God, Blinded by the Light.
Yeah.
Oh my God, it's like my favorite song. I want your father on the show.
Hey, what happened? What did I miss? What did I miss? You're
Her
screaming.
father was in a band called Manfred Mann, who sings "Blinded by the Light," which is one of the greatest rock songs ever fucking done ever in the world.
Yes, and he also wrote a song that you guys would both know, called "Build Me Up, Buttercup," which is one of the famous.
Build me up, Buttercup, baby. Oh yeah, that's
Buttercup, Buttercup. I know that song. Sure.
I wrote a song for Rod Stewart called.
And that was your father who did that?
Pardon?
That was your father, right?
That was my dad, but he was the lead singer of this group, Manfred Mann. They also sung Do Diddy and Mighty Quinn. They had a lot of.
God, I love them.
So I think I was raised in this family where it wasn't an odd thing that Elton John would come round to the house and write with my dad in the basement. Cat Stevens, he and my dad had the same manager at the time, a man called Barry Cross. Dusty Springfield, I was obsessed with as a child. She came round with all these bangles and earrings, and I was just like, Dusty, you're so beautiful. Can I look at your bangles and your earrings? And she was like, of course, love, of course. Have a go here, put some on. And so there was a real renaissance of creative artistry constantly going on in my house in London. And I grew up. The thing that made me want to act was my father was doing a musical called Gulliver's Travels. Because he was a musician, he had the capability.
I remember that.
Of taking a play like that and adapting it and writing all the music. So when I was born, when my brother was born, and then when I was 7 years old, those were the 3 times that he did that show. And I saw him walk up as Gulliver, as we call it, breaking the fourth wall through the exit signs. And he walked up to go on stage. And as a kid, my birthday was there with some mates of mine, my grandmother. And I just thought, well, I'm just going to go on stage with my dad, So I sort of walked up on the stairs and he said, no, Olivia, you've got to go and sit down. And you can come now is not really appropriate time. I said, but Daddy, I want to be on stage with you. And I just got this real sensibility of, maybe it was because I idolized, we idolize our parents until they get taken down off the pillar. For whatever that usually eventually happens, but I just saw him up there and he was like this god on stage, and I felt this real spiritual connection between how he was impacting the audience. And it just kind of gave me the bug. And then he brought me up afterwards, and I got to be on stage and look out at all the people. But it was that experience that I felt while watching my dad up on there,
I
creating.
love it.
That made you want to do it. Okay, let's get to the real good stuff that everybody wants to hear.
Okay.
Boyfriend, girlfriend, married, divorced, children.
I have a child. Yes, my son is 26. His name.
What?
Oh my God! You have a
You're freaking me out.
26-year-old.
You're freaking me out.
You must have had him when
No,
you were
she-
like
she-
5.
This is one
Oh, it's
old.
Russian.
She is one old bitch. Trust me. This is an old bitch we have on our show. How could you have a 21-year-old son and look 21?
No, 26-year-old son.
26, and your son looks older than you.
Um, we look like I could be his much older sister, but
No, if you go out together, I bet people think you're an item. You and your son are boyfriend and girlfriend.
they have at times. But he does have a girlfriend now, and I just love her, and I love going out with
You are really incredible looking. I've got to tell you this.
Thank you.
I mean, you're not only beautiful, but you really have the fountain of youth coming out of you. You're lucky.
So
Mom was a top model. She taught me a lot about inner happiness. She was and also how to take care of oneself and all of that. But I always had to sort of remind her, Mom, you're the model, I'm the actor. I don't have to be
Right.
like this big. I can
Wait, I didn't finish my question. So do you have a boyfriend right now?
Yes, I am. I am seeing someone at the moment.
good for you.
Wait, tell me about him. Is he nice?
She better say yes.
Nice. They got to be nice. They got to be funny. They got to have a.
Is he rich? Is he rich?
He's not poor.
Well, I mean, when you look like you don't go out with poor.
Are you giving me advice, Ron?
Yes. Men want the other Cadillac, as we say.
Oh, right. Yeah. No,
So a man with a lot of money will marry a woman that's like his other Cadillac, and that's the honor. Beautiful women marry wealthy men. They have the option or the opportunity, and I advise that to all women. If you're beautiful, he has money, you have beauty. It's a fair trade.
And she's got success because she's
And
extremely
you're successful, so you're a double threat.
Oh, thank you.
So,
So you think you're going to marry this guy or what?
Possibly. Who knows? I'm actually. I've been married for 10 years, and I'm not any longer married. So I'm sort of giving myself a breathing space, and I'm really appreciating the fact that I've got my autonomy back, if that makes sense.
Yes.
Okay. Is he cute? Is he cute?
Of course, he's cute.
I mean,
Look
handsome.
at her. Of course he's going
Well,
to be cute.
sometimes no. I've seen beautiful women with ugly, disgusting men.
And
Haven't you?
She said yes, she has too.
No, I mean, I walk in the mall and I see these women. They're 500 pounds, not attractive, and with them is this gorgeous guy built like a brick shit house, handsome. And I think, how did they get each other? They find each other.
I mean, there must be something. I don't know if you like the. Sometimes people just fall in love with someone's soul, and I think that's a beautiful thing. Or maybe they make them laugh every day, 24 hours.
That's true love.
That is true love, I believe. And I believe you can get close to all those things. I just think you have to get past the point where you're initially, when you, in your youth, you sort of are looking for people whose teeth match your wounds. And then you have to go through that whole kind of process where you're acting out maybe childhood things that were painful, or you just you have a different sort of way of protecting yourself as a child, and so you pick people who are and then you get
Who are safe,
and things become outmoded, and you grow up and you pick somebody who's maybe completely different to who you originally thought that you were compatible with.
What color are your eyes?
They're hazel.
I thought so.
So hang on, I want to do some bragging. So everybody knows.
You're very beautiful.
So you guys, she's done so many fabulous things. If everybody knows who she is, if you watch any of the animated stuff, because she does everything: Batman, Justice League, Tarzan, Mortal Kombat. I mean, the Wild Thornberry. She's like been in all of them. television shows. She's been on everything. And one of the ones I'm bringing up on purpose, first of all, like a lot of the people that are in the shows that you've been on, we've had on our show, which is fun. But you did an episode, and I don't even know if anybody will know what this is, of Sex and Execs, and Stan Zimmerman. That's Stan Zimmerman's show, and he's a very good friend of Ron's and
Oh,
I.
Stan and I are buddy for years. Stan and I really love each other.
I do too. He's a real mensch.
Oh, Stan is a fabulous guy.
Yeah. We did
And then
Mr. Sloan together. Do you know that play with Ian Buchanan?
he's been on our show too.
Love Ian. No, we all end up looking for our tribes. So I'm not surprised that we know a lot of the same people.
I know. I love it. So you guys, she was in Wayne's World 2, Greedy, with Kirk Douglas and Michael J. Fox, The Big Green, Kicking and Screaming, The Velocity of Gary, Soccer Dog, the movie, Sleeping Beauty, Robo Dog. She got a new movie, Bandit, with Mel Gibson, Josh Duhamel, Alicia Cuthbert, Nestor Carbonell. She did a movie which kind of like, even we have a ton of friends in Staycation. Like, we know everybody in it, and we know the people who made it. And one thing I think is cool, that you've got all these like A-list huge budget things, and that you also get involved in some indie stuff, which really helps the indie films. So I think it's very cool. Staycation, you guys, besides Olivia, is Lorene Landon, who I just did a movie with, and Ron did, Kelly Maroney, Tracy Coco, who's coming on the show next week, and Eileen Dietz.
Great.
And so I have a question in general, because you're not typecast. I mean, you do family movies, dog movies, action movies. You're in Star Wars. I mean, you do a little bit of everything. So how did you navigate your career, because everybody always gets typecast, and then you see them in a million of the same movies, and like none of your stuff is the same. It's all different.
I just for me it's about the experience, and I think that's a choice to be typecast. I think it's about the work. Like, I played a serial killer on Law and Order: Criminal Intent with Vincent D'Onofrio, and originally it's supposed to be a one episode, that because of our chemistry, and it was a Sherlock Holmes kind of Moriarty sort of tit-a-tat cat and mouse game. We just had this incredible chemistry, which ended up turning it into an arc on the show, where it gave Vincent the opportunity to work with somebody romantically. And I thought at times, because actually the country voted for me to live or die, but she was one of these characters that people love to hate. And though she was a sociopath and a serial killer, she was very charming. So I
like you.
Like me, because why do these sociopaths, psychopaths get away with so much? Because they have an exuberance, they have a charm, they're enigmatic, they're almost like super gods in a way, because they're always 10 steps ahead, and they love people, and they pay people compliments, and they have fun, and they have a sense of humor. So I just try and do that in all my work. I try and not get pinholed, and I look.
And you've done it very well.
Different without
hang on.
Wait, I have to apologize to our viewing audience. I just took Dayquil, and it has codeine in it, and
and it just hits you.
I don't do well with codeine, so I'm scratching my face because I'm itching. I don't want people to think I'm nuts. I have a dreadful flu that I caught from snot-nosed Jimmy next to me.
So hold on. So okay, everybody's got it. So we have a question in the chat room, and a very good friend of mine's son is in the chat room, and he came in, got off of work so he could ask a question, and I told him I would do it. So it says, what was it like to voice act for Star Wars as Luminara? Did you spend a lot of time with Dave Filoni, and what was the process?
For the Rise and Fall of Skywalker?
Yes, Star Wars Episode 9.
Oh, right, that's Clone Wars, right?
No, it's the Rise of Skywalker. Yes.
So for the film, I spent time with the director, kind of calling back. He called back all the Jedis. It was an amazing company, and he just worked with me for 3 hours to get me to a place, and improvise some of the lines, as well as some of the lines that were written, to just really encourage the lead character to not give up. I mean, I think the whole point was to bring the characters and merge the Star Wars, Clone Wars Jedis and the Jedis that were from the actual Star Wars films, and bring them all together in allegiance. it was an incredible experience. I mean, getting to go to Santa Monica, to the actual LA based Star Wars offices and studio is incredibly impressive. I mean, you walk in and you see to the right, it's like being in a museum. There's all the Star Wars memorabilia, and you see Chewbacca kind of behind a glass, a wall, and all the costumes that Han Solo wore, and Princess Leia. Everything from Star Wars to its genesis to now. And J.J. Abrams then took me up into this wonderful studio, huge, massive, grey, big, black, lots of depth in the room. And I just suddenly felt like I was in the film. I was only doing the voice, but it was just so wonderful to be part of the piece on a whole, and feel like I could help somehow inspire this young character to not give up and to.
So let me ask you a question, because you've done movies, television, video games, and animated series. Like, do you have one that you like, better than another? They're all kind of like very different, but they all each have their own huge audiences.
Yeah, I love doing them all, but my favorite thing is to be on stage and entertain, whether I'm singing or doing a Broadway play. One of my favorite things that I've done thus far was I did Broadway. I did Neil Simon's The Odd Couple with Matthew Broderick and Nathan Lane. And for me, that was one of the most incredible experiences thus far, because it was like boot camp, and not every actor is cut out for Broadway.
And I know the part you played, and
Gwendolyn Pigeon.
you had to be one of the sisters, the English sister.
Yes.
And you probably killed it. You did a great job with it, I bet.
But you know what I did, Ron, is I don't know, I'm sure you've seen the film and the TV show, that the Pigeon Sisters originally were written much too upper crust for women in the 1960s who smoke and work at a place in New York called Slenderama. So, I know those sort of girls.
Right.
Sisters, and they come on over on the plane in the 60s, and they just want to have a bit of fun. Do you know what I mean?
I love that.
These wench laughs, and they like to have a fag, and a nice chat with the bloke. And that was my interpretation of Gwendolyn. I flew myself to New York. My agent at APA said, we got this opportunity for you, but you got to fly yourself there. And I was like, I'm down. I'll pay for my ticket. And I just really wanted to meet Neil Simon. And I'd always wanted to work with Joe Montello, who's like one of the best theater directors today. I'd seen him do Angels in America, which he was amazing in as an actor.
Yes.
And I met him. I met Neil. I read with some other girls. We had very different accents. One was, sort of talking very like this. Well, Gwendolyn, I don't know why you. And I was like, I don't know what you're talking about, I mean, doing my completely different accent. And I think Neil Simon just thought it was refreshing. So what I ended up doing when I got the role, they flew me back for the callback, put me up, is Joe said to me, Joe Montello, will you take both Cicely's lines and Gwendolyn's lines and just put them into a tape recorder so that you guys can, find a common ground in how you're speaking. And we got a lot of laughs, I have to say, in the show.
I bet.
Are you familiar with the role?
Yes.
Gwendolyn? Mm-hmm. She had the good line. She was the snotty one.
But ultimately, she's the one who takes care of Felix, and she wants to take him under her wing.
She was the one that gave him the most opposition. Am I correct?
She gave.
She was hungry for a man, but was snotty about it.
A little bit more reserved, yeah. She was quite happy to sit back with her cigarette.
So do you
a great part to play.
So you said you sang in it. Like, have you like released music? Like, are you a singer that we can go and hear music that you've released anywhere?
Yeah, I've done it. You can actually go to YouTube and watch my video, which is called Revolution. It's a video that I directed a number of years ago, and my album is Not TV. And you can go to cdbaby.com and buy it. But I'm in the midst of working on another album right now, which is kind of a prog rock album. And it's, I'm doing everything from the stuff that I've written that I've been channeling, which is like 1930s torch songs to Gaelic, Celtic kind of English Brit rock stuff that I grew up with. You know, being that my dad was, you know, a musician, and it's a
I'm
potpourri of it's. I would say it's a modern Brit rock, really, with, you know,
I
some
love it.
cool, you know, beats behind it. It's kind of Portisheady, kind of Massive Attack. I don't know if you know those
I
groups.
want to hear it. I got named the best music publicist in the U.S. Lots of my clients, like I have Scott Page from Pink Floyd. I have like all these famous clients, you know, that do a lot of things, and I totally want to hear it when it comes out and
Okay,
see how
well,
we can help you promote it because
absolutely.
I'm really
And
good at
also,
that.
were you a fan of the Beatles?
A more later on, I was. I kind of got saturated by the Beatles and didn't quite get them till I was about 13, 14. You know, I liked the Rolling Stones more. I know everybody compares the two, but as I get older, I just find that the Beatles are just, there's nothing like their songwriting. Paul McCartney and John Lennon, that the united allegiance that they have is undescribable, because they're such different people that the chemistry that gets woven between them when they write a song is priceless.
It becomes magic.
Yeah.
I have to tell you though, because I'm so excited, because like my favorite two songs, like when I was like growing up, when I was younger, was uh Dreamweaver, Gary Wright,
Oh yeah.
and Blinded by the Light. And Gary Wright was the first one of the first guests we ever had on this show ever. When we first started out, nobody knew who we were. He was really nice. He had just gotten off of Ringo Starr's All Star Band tour, and he came on the show, and I was so excited, and nobody could believe, you know, that we could get him on the show, and we were a brand new show,
Yeah.
and so like it super excites me, and that you also do music. I think that's fabulous. Like. So go back to movies for a minute. Like I like to ask this to all the actors, and you will probably have an interesting answer. But men and women, like you have a bucket list. I mean, I can't read all the stuff you guys. I took notes, and like I filled one whole page, and I got like half of her shit she's done so much stuff it's not even funny. But what if you could work with any, like on a bucket list, male and female actor that you haven't worked with, because you worked with everybody, like who are two people that you think would be great to work with? And then the second half of the question is, if you could have been in any movie that's ever been made in history, what movie would you have liked to have been in?
um I'll start with the first question. I'd love to work with Helen Mirren. I'd love to work with
Oh yeah, oh yeah. Me too. Me
um
too.
I'd love to work with oh my gosh. It's unfortunately. I mean, I wish I'd worked with Alan Rickman. I found
Oh, I love Alan Rickman.
I mean, you know, I was lucky enough. I met Alan Rickman. I was doing a play with Juliet Stevenson, who was in Truly, Madly, Deeply with Alan.
Mm-hmm.
Um, there's a lot of brilliant stage actors too that I would just love to work with. I wish I'd got to work with Sir John Gielgud. I mean, but Harrison Ford, I love.
Oh, me too. You're picking good ones, and you're picking ones that nobody else ever picks. Everybody, well, all the young people always say Meryl Streep, and I'm like, oh, come on, give me a break. And
I'd take her in a bag of chips any day.
no, Helen Mirren. Helen
Oh,
Mirren is an
Helen Mirren.
awesome,
I would
awesome
I
one.
would work with her in a minute for free. I think she's a brilliant, brilliant actress, a stunning looking woman, and
Mm.
she's almost my age, and she's absolutely
Oh,
beautiful.
has got it going on big time. She's, you know,
Stunning, stunning.
I's age, and I think she's a great example to women. Um, she knows who she is, and a lot of her sex appeal and her gravitas and her beauty is, you know, yes, aesthetically she's beautiful to look at, but it's how she carries herself, her
Yep,
posture, how she walks into a room, her inner strength. These are
yep.
all things that I think I encourage women to, uh, you know, pay attention to, because beauty and grace and elegance, all of these things, they are things that maybe they're not born. Some people are born with them, but you can
Acquire them.
they're learned. They can be learned. You know, you
Don't
take.
forget, Helen is old Hollywood. She's from the days of Hollywood when Hollywood was Hollywood.
That's right.
So she was trained, and through all of her work, she's become a flexible, versatile. I adore her. I have never met her, but I can't wait till I do and I interview her. It's going to be a wonderful interview.
Yeah.
Have you ever met her?
No, I haven't. I've met Jane Fonda, who I love, and I know that they are both made.
My other one would be Judi Dench. Like I
I,
love
Oh,
Judi
I love
Dench.
Judy
Judi Dench and
Dench.
Helen Mirren are like my two
I
favorites.
love Judy Dench also.
I don't know if you've ever seen. You must see if you haven't already. Their early Shakespearean work. You know, they used to travel in a troupe
Mm-hmm.
all around England and in the States as well. But you know, I think it gave them that bond, and it set them up for life, because when you have, and Timothy Dalton was part of the, you know, the.
How about Maggie Smith? Jesus, is she
I
fabulous?
love Maggie Smith. You know, honestly, there's so many. I could give you a list.
Have you ever met Maggie Smith?
No, I've not.
I would
Uh,
love to meet her. She's a fabulous actress.
I did get to meet Diana Rigg, who I rather love.
Oh yes.
But Diana passed away, didn't she?
Yes.
Yeah.
Um.
Okay, so go to a movie. What movie
No, let me
would you have
tell you
liked to
where
be in?
I'm
Wait, let her
going. Where I'm
finish with the
going
movie.
somewhere. England has put out some of the greatest actors of our time. So
Yeah.
many. They were Shakespearean trained, and English actors are funny comedians also. Dry humor, wonderful. I'm a fan of English movies.
Me too. I would have loved to have worked with Peter Sellers. He's not with us anymore. I would have loved to have
Right.
worked with Wilder. I love men actors who, you know, then maybe they're not considered, you know, aesthetically conventionally leading men. You know, Steve McQueen is a great example of that. I would have loved to have met with him too. But I always go back to kind of earlier actors, Montgomery Clift, you know, people like that. I just think that they were ahead of their
Yeah. They were
time.
beautiful. Montgomery Clift was a beautiful man.
Ron had a show back in the day called Set the Record Straight, where he interviewed all the legends of Hollywood, and Jane Russell was his best friend and his
Oh,
first guest. And so he's like the Turner Classic Movie, like he knows all, and he's met all of them, and he knows all of them.
And they're all gone
how
and
about
left.
Day? I mean, she just had such an incredible. I mean, Judy Garland and Doris Day from that era.
I've never met Judy Garland.
Mm. But what an actress! Aside from being an incredible singer, she was
Oh,
so
she was
good.
multi-talented.
It
You
was
know,
hard to watch sometimes because of the pain and the reality of what she would draw from to get through a song. I mean, she gave it everything she had, and it came from the depth
well,
of.
I interviewed her daughter Lorna Luft, and off camera, Lorna and I spoke about things that we wouldn't speak about on camera. And the questions I asked Lorna, and she answered me honestly, and I said I would never disclose them. She was a victim of narcotics due to studio heads. They destroyed that girl and the woman. Hollywood killed Judy Garland.
Yeah, I know.
They did.
Which is just terrible. Wait,
They
go.
did.
So pick a movie though. You didn't tell me a movie. What movie would you have liked to been in?
Harold and Maude.
Oh,
Which
wow,
one?
Harold and Maude.
Interesting. Very interesting movie. Interesting
Um,
part.
I mean, you know, Harold and Maude being there. Um, I don't know if that would have been a part for me, but one of my favorite films over the last 3 years is Call Me by Your Name.
Oh, I didn't see that.
Amazing.
I'll
Timothy.
have to look that up now. I'll have to look it up.
Oh, guys,
So what have you got coming up? You have a movie coming out soon?
yes, I have a film coming out where I play called Bandit. I play Mel Gibson's wife, and it's set in 1984 in Canada, but we faked it and shot it in Georgia. It's an espionage fugitive film, kind of like The Fugitive, and Josh Duhamel plays this bandit. It's a true story about a man who robbed about 150 to 250 banks in the 80s, and he got away with it,
Ooh.
guys, every time he went and robbed a bank. And
The name of that film is.
Bandit.
She has to repeat it. People forget.
Bandit.
The Bandit. The
No,
Bandit.
no, not the Bandit, just Bandit.
Bandit. Okay.
So wait, let me ask you a question. So like, if you could pick someone, and it's just for the movie, not like in real life, but like if you could pick any actor to be like if you were gonna go shoot a new movie and they said, okay, who do you want to star opposite of to be your love interest? Who are, you don't have to give me one, you can give me a few. Who are a couple of people that you think would be fun or that you would love to have as your like love interest in a movie?
oh my gosh, I've got rather a few.
That's okay. Give us a few.
Gosh, I mean, I really love Russell Crowe. I think he's wonderful.
Yes.
Gosh. Probably Gary Oldman. There's some
Gary Oldman. That's
he's like the
interesting.
greatest actor on the planet, though. He's so awesome.
Yeah, he really is, and he's a lovely guy. And I've worked with him before, but I worked with him on a sitcom that was Jason Alexander's spin-off from Seinfeld. And
Oh wow.
It was kind of an odd thing to be working with Gary Oldman on a sitcom, and God, we were there till all hours of the morning. But I just loved working with him, and
that's a good one. I like Gary Oldman.
And
That's
who
a good
else?
pick.
Who else?
We have like 2 minutes left, so give us one more.
Would you have liked to work with Sean Connery?
Javier Bardem.
Oh, there we go.
He's a bit saucy, isn't he?
Yes, he's really good though.
I think they're the most amazing couple, but I think he's a very, very gifted actor, and I hear he's really brilliant as Desi Arnaz in the Lucy.
He was good. We liked it.
Did you?
Liked it. Yeah, we liked it.
Female.
No, she did.
But we did Helen Mirren. Who else?
I love to work with Kate Winslet, and
Yes.
I love God, I can't believe I'm blanking on her name. The Kate, the Australian actress who's just done.
Oh yeah.
Would you like to work with Angelina Jolie?
Yes, and the main reason is because I think she's a phenomenal actress, but I've met her. She's one of the loveliest women and human beings that I've ever met. I met her maybe about 8 years ago, and she was so crazy famous. It was hard to put in words. But I saw a film that she directed, which she did a brilliant job directing. And you would think somebody that famous would, have an entourage of people around them, when you're going to the after party and walking over there. And she was cool as a cucumber. She took pictures with people. She was completely confident, almost like there's nothing that you could do to hurt this woman, because she almost had this sacred aura around her.
I love it. So I'm sorry, because I didn't mean to interrupt, but we're going to out of time, and she's going to yell at me in a minute. So you guys, this is Olivia Dabo. You can follow her on Instagram at OLIVIADABO, and her Twitter is Olivia is the same. Oh, they're the same. Is also Olivia Dabo.
Yeah.
There it is on there. We want to thank you so much. And when you have anything to promote, we want to bring you back. You were a lovely guest. You're so talented. Thank you so much for coming on the show.
Desert,
come to dinner. We'll do dinner.
I'm serious. I don't give fake invitations. I really mean it.
Okay. Well,
you're a sweetheart. You're a very nice girl. I keep thinking she's a teenager. She's about 140 and she looks 21.
That's exactly.
So phenomenal.
Olivia, thank you so much. You've been
450 years old.
You look wonderful.
At night, and I put it on my face.
I love it. Thank you so much, Olivia. We'll see you soon.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye, honey.
Thanks, everybody, for tuning in. We had a great time. What great guest, Roxy. Thank you. I'm sorry we went over a little bit, but everybody, we'll see you next week. Have a good one, everybody. Bye-bye. Can turn out to be so wrong.
Yeah, we in the mix. Yeah, we in the mix. It's another episode. Here we go. The Jimmy Star Show with Ron Russell. Interviewing the hottest, newest, and truest of today's celebrities. Make sure to subscribe so you can get notified weekly. Jimmy Star, he's the king of cool. Ron Russell, he's a gorgeous dude. Chat room is live and you would be a fool not to vibe with us at the Jimmy Star Show with Ron Russell. Come watch it live on W4CY Radio. Miss some past episodes, download on iTunes. The Jimmy Star Show with Ron Russell. It's the Jimmy Star Show with Ron Russell.